We have to reinforce our resilience against a new virus, possibly, or other risks which we have on the global agenda.
Say hello to my little friend.
Evan, hey, it's Daniel. Listen.
Don't tell anyone, but I think I have some information that might lead to the arrest of Hillary Clinton.
Sir? May I see your invitation, please?
Oh, here's my invitation. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hot Take Show. I'm your host, Dan, and I'm joined in this post-apocalyptic setting by my partner in crime, Evan.
My bad man.
Explosions, testosterone, machine guns, big muscles, car chases. What do all of these things have in common? Action movies. The big-budget summer blockbusters that gave us so many great one-liners.
I'll be back.
So many iconic scenes.
It's over! Nothing is over! Nothing!
And catapulted so many great actors into fame.
Welcome to the party, pal!
And Evan hates most of it. You better explain yourself before that bomb goes off.
Oh, where'd that come from?
Don't look at me.
Here's my problem with action movies. They rely too much on special effects, attractive ladies, sex scenes, violence, and plot lines that don't differ much from movie to movie. The villains can never shoot besides the arch villain. Good guys are almost 100% accurate though. They are stupidly unrealistic in their action sequences. They are very predictable, as in the good guy will survive and get the girl, bad guys will die or survive another day for the sequel.
Damn! He ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3.
They're very shallow. Characters lack depth and development. Now let me lay out my exceptions, and these are only a few. War movies, which I consider another genre entirely. Historical fiction. A few classics, like some of the Bond movies. And movies that aren't purely action movies, as in they could be considered other genres. But let me be clear. Marvel and DC movies are the epitome of stupidity. They combine action movies with children's entertainment. Yeah, I said it. And you get the comic book cinematic universe. As Martin Scorsese said, Marvel movies aren't cinema. I couldn't agree more.
I'm with you on the whole DC Marvel thing. It's mostly woke garbage and pretty bland, to be honest. But for me, there's nothing better than the 80s action movies. Arnold, Stallone, Bruce Willis, Chuck Norris. Even throw in some Mel Gibson and Tom Cruise. Or, if you're feeling froggy, how about a little Harrison Ford or Kurt Russell? The movies from that period were just so pulpy and fun. They weren't afraid to take chances, to push boundaries, and show men being real, manly men. And being made before the CGI era really took off, they had a lot more weight, a lot more edge-of-your-seat realism. From Dirty Harry in 1971 to The Matrix in 1999. Both perfect films, I might add. You had some of the best action flicks ever made, and very few modern films come close.
I can't disagree. The Matrix is legendary.
It really is. I mean, it changed the game. And I think it does mark the end, though, of the classic action movie era. Like, everything after that really relied way too much on CGI, and it just couldn't capture the same magic as those old action flicks, man.
Got a certain director in mind that ruined it? Michael Bay.
Michael Bay really
Ruined
did.
it.
He ruined the genre. You're right.
You're funny, guys.
Michael Bay.
That's why I'm going to kill you last.
For sure, there are tons of terrible, awful action movies. Probably second only to terrible horror movies for the sheer number of them. You go on Netflix, you look up the scary movie, the horror genre. There are so many low-budget, independent horror films that are just awful. And action movies are just a close second. Because I think they take a little bit more of a budget to make and to even get them to that bare minimum threshold. But I'll tell you, man, action movies, they can go bad.
Much like horror movies, you're right. There are a few really good ones, but most of them are just cringy.
I'll throw this in there as well. Horror movies and action movies are very similar in that they have a real problem with the law of diminishing returns. You get a really good first one, maybe a good second one, and if you're lucky, you get a trilogy. If you're lucky, you can get that Die Hard 1, 2, 3, or Lethal Weapon Third one, not as good as the first two. First two were great. John Wick, same thing. The third one really fell off. And so, just like horror movies, you know, once you get to like Jason X, where he's in space, okay, or Alien versus Predator, it doesn't have the same kick. Okay, so what are some action movies that you'll tolerate, Evan?
There's Terminator 1 and 2. 2 being one of those rare movies that actually lived up to its first. There was a few of the James Bond movies.
A few?
Are you crazy? Is that your problem?
Casino Royale. I'm trying to think of the old ones.
Oh, Goldfinger. That one was great. On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the only Bond movie with George Lazenby.
Oh, yeah. I thought that was a good one, too.
Most of the ones with Sean Connery were really good.
There's a few of the Indiana Jones movies. Raiders of the Lost Ark. Last Crusade is okay, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause isn't that like the second best one, normally?
I think most people would consider the first one and the third one to be like probably tied.
Yeah, because it's obviously not going to be the fourth one.
Oh, no, honey.
I've watched that one. What was it? Crystal Skull.
Yes.
Yeah, that one sucks. Of course, there's Die Hard.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not a Christmas movie.
Wrong.
But it's one of the best action movies. Hans Gruber's character, I just really appreciate him because you can tell he got a classical education. Unfortunately, he did not put it to good use. He turned to evil, but he's one of the most highly developed villains, I think, in action movies. And that's why I think so many people like the movie. If he had just been like a dumb villain that's not likable or relatable in any way, then it would have just been another dumb action movie.
Dude, yeah, you're right on the money with that one. Hans Gruber is essentially who Evan could be once he finishes his great books reading list. You know, there's always that chance that he could become an international terrorist.
I'm John McClane.
I'm your host, Evan. Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Gun is awesome. And I saw the newest one.
Oh, how is it?
Oh.
Is it good?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
I'm surprised because I was afraid it would go woke in some way.
And everyone was. And everyone was super nervous, especially when the whole Taiwan patch he had, they took it off for the trailer. But then it was back on his jacket in the movie.
Was it a bunch of women who were trained to be pilots?
There was only one female pilot that actually had lines. I think there might have been like an Asian and like a Hispanic pilot, but the Hispanic lady was the only one who got lines. And she was one of the only ones who like flew the mission. Basically, it boils down to this. Tom Cruise is more of a badass in this movie than he was in the last one. The time that we've been away from him in his life in this movie, Maverick, he's become even cooler than he was back in the day, and he has aged like fine wine. And rather than treat him like Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars sequels, where he's just some jaded old man who's just drinking nasty milk out of a alien cow tit, instead of doing that and really cucking his character in his own series, in his own movie, they made Maverick way more badass, and he showed these kids the ropes and kind of passed on his knowledge to a new generation. It was really good. Very mature, I think, take on the character and just the universe of Top Gun. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
You know, the more we talk, the more I'm like, actually, action movies aren't that bad.
He's beginning to believe.
For the record, True Lies sucks.
No, heck no, dude. Don't even say that.
I watched it when I was like middle school.
You didn't say that. I didn't hear you say that.
Like when they drop the gun and it just goes off and kills everybody in the room.
Oh yeah, that's a really funny scene. Yeah, it's so cheesy because that's what they were going for. They knew they were a little campy and cheesy, and they did it anyway. It's just part of the aesthetic. It's really all I can describe it as. It's an aesthetic. It's so over the top. And that's what was really cool about them, is the over-the-topness mixed with like real practical effects for the most part. And so that was great, man. It was just, so good. Don't even, True Lies sucks. Who is this guy?
You are not you. You're me. No
By the way, popular action movies, Morbius is number 1.
How could I have forgotten? How could I have been so foolish as to forget Morbius, the greatest action movie of all time?
You've been morbed.
Is it possible to morb yourself? Because I just morbed myself right there. Wow. Forget it. Forget Arnold. Forget Stallone. Forget everyone, dude.
It's morbid season. It is Morbin season right now. It's Morbin time.
Give me your best, get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper!
Is that good or are you laughing at me?
It's terrible, man.
Yeah. I actually don't know that line off the top of my head.
Oh, how do you not know that one, man?
Dan, that 30-second timer has been going on for at least 5 minutes. Should we defuse it by now?
What makes you think I know how to defuse a bomb? Don't worry, man. It always stops.
Fine. I'll do it myself.